Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is finally time for the Academy. Welcome everybody. God damn. Did things go wrong leading up to this? Oh boy, ton of computer issues, a bunch of settings have reset themselves. I apologize for any technical issues. Of course it happens today rather than any of the streams before this. Oh well, what you gonna do? I'm sorry, Deadfall, I'm sorry I got called into work. Look, I didn't even have time to get out of half my work clothes. I still have big ass, ugly shoes on. Ridiculous. Sprinted to this computer to get this stream going. Alright, welcome. Do you count as a Smurf? I mean, probably not. Didn't you? Wait, no, you got, what, Mithril? What did you get? I can never remember. I'm only silver. That's fine, you're allowed in the event. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Academy. Now, what is the Academy? Some people are still asking in general chat, despite me, advertising this every 2 to 3 days for, 2 weeks, but whatever, you know what? Fine. Whatever, neither here nor there. The Academy is an event I'm running. It is not a tournament in the traditional sense. For 6 players from Bronze, Silver, and Gold to submit their matches and be educated and helped in the game by myself, a newly minted Mithril player, playing since Beta 1, and hopefully in the future, champion players, other Mithril players, especially from in the chat. The aim of the game tonight is education. Everybody gets a prize. Losers will receive a pack code. Winners of the matches will receive 2. At the end of the month, there will be a poll thrown up for your favourite match. And the winners of those polls will get a... Second and third place will get a 5-pack code. And the most interesting, or the player that impressed the community the most, will receive a 10-pack code. That is the estimated prize, well, that is the locked-in prize structure, at least for now. So, we have our matches. Our contenders signed up. The Academy was full within the first 5 hours of it being a thing. They played their matches, they had a week to do it. Pardon me. And they have sent me, they sent me a message saying our match is done. I've gone and recorded it. This puts some technical limitations on what we can actually do with the replays. But what this means is that I can pause. We can go through their cards every play. So this is going to be equal parts a tournament commentary and a educational tool. Each match will be uploaded individually to YouTube. So I'm hoping that these can be used in the future to educate you. Now, I have not seen these matches. I very briefly just confirmed it was all working and all recorded. I have not watched them. I am going to this with as fresh eyes as you have. Maybe I could have looked at things, organised some notes, but I feel like my gut instincts are going to be better than me overanalyzing it. So, I think it's time to begin. Without further ado, let's just get this underway. So, we have 3 matches. Today, we have Additional versus Malicious, Astral versus Goodnight, and Enter versus Pothos. And I'm trying to decide which one we start with. I think we're going to start, because he is a regular on the chat, I think we're going to start with Enter versus Pothos. Now, I will say, this match went a little screwy because someone messed up their private settings. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you were on private and you are not a champion pushing tier 1, please take your profile off private. It does nothing. Apart from annoy people. Stop it. Get help. I will start a private anonymous if I have to. Stop it. Okay. Because of that, this particular video clip will be in widescreen, essentially. It's going to have a bar at the top and the bottom. And I'm sorry, there is very little I can do about that. So, allow me to open this up. And let's switch on over. Hello, I'm here now. Alright. This should. Hey, here we are. Alright. First match of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Let's begin. We have Enter versus Dunamis. Dunamis is his name in-game. Pothos D in Discord. I don't even know who the winner of this is. I'm not sure. I'm sure I was told at some point. I have a memory like a sieve. I apologize. Let's go. Now, at any point in chat, feel free to chime in. Feel free to comment, offer additional ideas on plays. I'll be taking this slow. Okay, we get our starting hands. Unfortunately, there is not much I can do about this, which is kind of irritating, but we'll live. We can't do much about the play buttons. So we've got yellow-green versus yellow-green-purple. So we've got a fairly standard colour, whether it's a standard deck or not, seeing as it's Plague Maidens, it's not, versus a kind of a homebrew. Not bad cards on either side. They've both got a Kolobok early ramp. He's got a Rush solution to deal with Kolobok if he wants to. That's a Rush Blight, which is just a good card. He's got control. He's got Benimi early, so that's a lot of life. Got stuns, Vixens to loot races. These are actually two golden-looking hands to start with. The only thing I would say is that neither of them have anything past really turn 3. They don't have a mid or a late game currently, and they're going to have to hope to draw into that. How much draw they have in deck is going to be really important. Especially yellow-green, you want to be drawing your power cards on curve. There is nothing more threatening than an on-curve Icatus, right? So, we'll watch it. Enter gets the first turn. He burns Weight the Bones, and he goes for Kolobok. Standard play. I've never been sure what a good hand for Plague Maidens look like. Honestly, anything, as long as you have some form of armor or regen, he's got the Isle of Busan, and you've got cards to burn leading up to it, that's as good as you can hope for with Plague Maidens, right? If you want to do a Plague Maiden on curve, you very much want a Kolobok in hand, but that is not a Plague Maidens thing, that is just a green thing. Congratulations, you're playing green, you are always wanting Kolobok in opening hand. He plays Kolobok. Now, Dunamis has a choice. Racer or Kolobok. It looks like he's going for Racer. It's not the only play. He could put the Kolobok in a non-agile position. He would have to put it on one of the extremes to make it immune to this. And even then, it's not immune. So Racer is 100% the right call here, because something I really want to impress upon people, and I think it's one of my first rules of Mythgard, is always, every turn, double check their path. Even if it's something like Fires of Creation, double check it somehow hasn't changed during the game. Always double check the rules affecting the cards and double check their power. If Dunamis put a Kolobok in one of the extremes and Enter was feeling particularly spiteful, he could swift across, impel, kill. Dunamis doesn't get ramp, he does, they're an equal board stake. Enter is ahead. And he would have wasted ramp. So this choice that he is currently making to burn the purple and please Racer it is the correct one. That is 100% correct. Alright? A Swift with Impel can reach the entire board. It is amazing. Okay? Also, anything Blast with Impel can reach the entire board as well. But that's for another time. Let's continue on. Pulls a Vicious Cycle. That's good for a control option, but burns it immediately. Okay. Here's the problem with burning a hard control like that against something with like Detainable, in my mind. Again, I will caveat everything I say is my opinion, right? Aether. Mate, honestly, yeah, if you send it through, even if I don't think you're covering this match, and even if you are, we'll go through yours as well. We'll see how my commentary compares. Why not? And absolutely not a problem, my friend. Yellow has amazing Awaken effects. So purple has quite good Awaken effects, especially if you're seeing things like God of Gamers or Perfect Grades, etc. Perfect Grade isn't an Awaken, but it's pretty much ridiculous. So, there is an issue in using Detain the Core over a hard kill spell like Vicious Cycle, because they are going to be able to, potentially, depending on what you need to get rid of, get that Awaken effect again. So, I might have kept Vicious instead. It's kind of preference at that point, but I feel like there is a bit of a leaning towards Vicious Cycle, at least in my mind. Okay, players are fairly standard. Card draw, Khorne, absolutely. This should be Plague Maidens. Interesting. Well, unfortunately, he burnt the... Okay, so he had the core mechanics in his deck. He had the core parts of what he needed. He had regen on Plague Man. And he didn't use it, which is a huge issue. Now, in something like this, I would have played the Plague Man. I don't care if you're drawing a card from Khorne. It gets you a slight advantage, but it's not something that's going to bother me if I can get Plague Mans out. He has no tempo on board. He has very little ability to rush and kill. We haven't seen any indication of rush from him besides Purple. And a Racer is not enough to take out Plague Man, so I wouldn't have burnt the Isle. That is the prime heresy that has been committed here, because you've broken your deck. Racer and Bun, absolutely. And maybe he was thinking, but these are the kind of things you have to weigh up. With one Racer burnt already, and we haven't seen an indication of any pikes yet, mind you, very early game. Yeah, absolutely. I play yellow-purple and I'm always upset when a maze gets popped like this. Yeah, that's fair. Listen, I'm not saying that it's not a large, not tempo loss, but a large future play loss, right? Yeah, not having that additional card could be what makes and breaks the game. Absolutely. I guess it just depends on how he uses Plague Bones. But either way, I would have kept Isle. I would have burnt this turn Detain instead of Isle. Isle was more important. Right? And Flockle makes a good point. Makes an excellent point. You are not in range of any control effects like Temptation or... Come on, help me out here. The green one. Oh god. Traitorous Murmur. There we go. Got it. Why are you not putting it there? So, second thing I would do, after you've checked all your rules on the board, always control as many lanes as possible. This is a 2-lane control, right? Yes, he has Impel. Yes, he could move it. He doesn't want to. If I can put a minion in this 3rd lane across and force him to waste 2 of his next turn 4 mana, half his mana impelling something across to blight it, fantastic. If that creature doesn't die and I've managed to do something else as well, I've won the tempo. If he'd put it there, he would have been able to hit it, blight it, and still be able to play a 4-cost card, which in his case is a Plague Maiden with an ability trigger on what should be a Ice, right? So, always check your rules. Always control as many lanes as possible. Lane control and board presence are most decks' priority at all times. Also, Mason's Defender, so it's important to be able to impel, otherwise it can still protect a minion for a turn. That is also a great point. Which order does Khorne versus Blight trigger in? Positive effect triggers first, right? So it would actually tick up, then tick down, it would still be on the board. So yes, another great point from Lazar there is that even if you do move across, its Defender, it's going to protect anything I put in those 3 lanes. Right? So, let's keep going, see what happens. So we're burning the 3rd, we hit Autumn. Absolutely fantastic. We get our green now, yeah. And he's got the room for this. It's... Now, hold. Does he have anything else to play? No. He could have... Mesa Libre is pointless. He could have drawn a card, essentially. But with the presence of a Poxbringer, so we've seen a Yellow Rush element, he's taking the safer and the more long-term oriented play there, and he's just playing it. So absolutely fine. Always could... Listen, everything I'm going to say tonight comes with 2 asterisks, right? 2 of the little stars. One that says this is only my goddamn opinion. I apologize if I'm making an idiot of myself. Secondly, it's everything has an exception. Everything has an exception, okay? Let's run under that assumption. Alright. Security Fountains, okay. Not a great card, unfortunately. I loved them when I first started playing the game and didn't know any better. They're just not... 2 health at that point is just awful. Hey, there we go. We have the viewer in the chat for the match himself. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Alrighty, let's keep going. Venomfang Mute. Now, I like this card. It's a good card. 1/4 with Blight, absolutely. I think it's quite decent against Rush. It's gonna force him to 2 for 1 unless you're in Winter and he infuses, but even then, an infuse is at minimum 3 mana. So, absolutely. Fantastic. Nice card to have in a yellow green. That less so. Now, these are lower players, so every time I say you should have Iketurso, you should have Short Stag. Catch you later, Deadfall. Sorry it happened so late, my friend. Where was I? Every time I say you should have Iketurso, Short Stag, Perfect Grade, whatever, I understand that these are newer players. They're not going to have the collection that like I have or some champion players have, right? So, he needs to get rid of those and replace them with something. So far, I haven't seen a Raid the Tombs. If you don't have a Raid the Tombs in the deck, put Raid the Tombs in the deck. So, Casey, what it is it's presented as a tournament. I am watching 3 matches, one after the other, and I'm commenting on and using this to teach. The actual games had a week to play, and this is a recording of those matches, so that time zones basically aren't an issue. People don't have to get up at 2 AM to play a game just because I live in Australia, right? Alright, that'll swing in there, that's all well and good, and he gets the Plague Mains down, good. Even better, that'll trigger, yeah, doesn't really matter. That was gonna die no matter what. That's regen. That's all goody, goody, goody. Oopsie. Awkward. Gets rid of it for us. Excellent. Yep, Mesa Libre for the stun. That's pretty understandable. That's actually a really good play. That's, yeah, decent. Very good on him. Very lucky he drew that. But, unfortunately, now, I mean, it's part of Mesa Libre's kit. Let's use this opportunity to teach. If they have Impel and you want to control their movement, you have to play it opposite. If you play it to either side, it is escapable. I had a match last night where a Mithril player threw the game by placing a minion to a side and allowing me to Impel. Again, this comes back to what I'm just going to call Rule 1. Check the rules that are active on the board. Look for Winter. Look for Slayer. Look for Fragile. Look for No Rush, all these sorts of things, right? He probably didn't think about how the Impel would affect that. Because he could have Vicious Cycle, right? Vicious Cycle was the safer play if you take Impel into account. So now he's lost a fair chunk of his kit, and Dunamis has a huge amount of power coming. He's got Twins coming, he's got Jinsuk, which can take care of small bodies, and he's got Daigoju. Okay, we get a Vicious Cycle on the Vixen, which stops the loop. Fantastic, absolutely. Do you think Mesa Libre is better than Mimic in terms of stalling potential? 100%, not even a question. 100%. Mimic's only good, and I use that term loosely, if you're running a complete stealth deck. Mesa Libre is one of the best control cards in yellow. and that's coming from one of the controlliest colours. A stealth deck, like lots and lots of stealth. Yeah, I mean, yes, Schwermutter, I don't know, has the right of it, you know? Meso Libre, it's an awaken effect. An awaken effect is always going to be better than something that is conditional, right? Because it's, when it comes in, it's not demise, which can be got around. It's not, you have to spend a mana on it. What if you don't have the mana, right? This is, Meso Libre is better. 100% of the time, in almost all situations. Now, if discard becomes more of a meta thing in the second set, sure, maybe we have to reassess. But for now, in this meta, Meso Libre. Balance for card draw, I'd say this is Dunamaz's. If I had to go on guard at the moment, he's just avoiding here. That's probably the right call. And yeah, look, he's kind of just rushing some damage down, trying to pull that away from a central regen position. He'll get some big bodies down. Yeah, sure. I don't even hate the Impel play. It's funny. That's almost quite a aggro player mindset thing to do. It's, I don't need a body on the board. I need the chip damage now. Right? Goes for Wake the Bones. That'll be the Plague Maiden. Puts it there. Now, good. Even if this comes across, even if it got Hotel Barkeep, it is still in defender range. Fantastic. The issue there is you are versing yellow-green. Two colours that turn on at 6. 5/6 in a big way. So you now have he now, going into 7, Godsbane, Daigoju, Twins, Ikuturso, Short Stag, I think Boneyard's 8? I don't know. He's 1-off perfect grade. He has access to Misanthropias. He has turned on. If you want to reliably beat yellow-green, do as much damage and set up as much as possible before 5 mana. Plague Maiden with Phalanx is very awkward. What makes you say, what particularly do you think is awkward about that while we continue the play? Okay, if not for Impel, what would have been the better play? You had 6 mana on this turn. Let's go back a quick moment. Right, here we are. I mean, just drop Twins. Double bodies and just move that away. If he wants to spend 2 of his mana in a yellow-green which hasn't succeeded in ramp, with 2 cards in hand, to get rid of a Meso Libre when you now have Twin Juna, Twin Blanc on the board, amazing. Fantastic. Alternatively, what did you burn? Oh, did you forget to burn? You forgot to burn a card. What you could have done, if you were really concerned about that, burn, when you drew it, burn Daigoju, and play Jinsuk. Use Jinsuk to kill that, swing through for 3. You now have 2 bodies on the board, one of which is a legendary, which helps you control, basically permanently, that he has to answer in some way. And you would have had the exact same amount of damage, right? And I mean, yes, you got a card draw element down on the board, essentially the same damage, but Jinsuk is a better body. Yes, now Astronomica. Yeah, the Wake the Bones on the Plague Maiden, he's focusing too much on his mechanic, right? Plague Maidens is the thing. It's very easy when you have a combo deck, I find, to go, this is the combo, I have to do combo. Sometimes the combo just doesn't work. It's one of the things I like about this game the most is that the the mythics and even the rares that can set up these combos aren't an enormous part of your deck. So you do have to have contingencies, right? You have to have contingencies upon contingencies. So yes, 100% the better play was Ikuturso. Probably burn Misanthropia, although Misanthropia is very good against, again, high range of these colours. Burn Misanthropia, Ikuturso. When he kills Ikuturso, if he kills Ikuturso, wake Ikuturso. 100%. That would stall out. That would buy time for you to draw another Plague Maiden, or draw some card draw, or any of these other systems, right? Honestly, in general, yellow-purple is just hard to splash in. So many triple turn cards. Yeah, absolutely. It's not the best colour for splashing. Especially with purple, because so many of purple's good things are triple two. It's really awkward. Okay, Misanthropias and Plague Men. See, he just got my. Hey, thank you very much for subscribe. That is awesome of you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alright. Detain on that. Yeah, sure, absolutely. It's Daigoju. It'll do a ton of damage and kill Ikuturso. Mind you, it's Defender. It's, yeah, you know. I possibly still would have played the Ikuturso. Make it Defender. Oh, it would have blasted for 8 damage and gotten it pretty close to killing. See, all he's done is he's bought himself a turn with no damage, really. He'll play the Kolobok. He'll move the Kolobok. Get some health, yeah. At this point, he's praying. I'd love to know, does he have card draw? Is he just not seeing it? Is it even in the deck? Yep, that swings in. Yeah. There's not a lot. So, I get you're going, I've got mana to burn, why not burn it? Keep the Kolobok in a spot that is more agile friendly. Don't put it in a quad. You've already had the move for the turn. You don't need to move it anymore, you know? He Jinsooks to stop the draw there. Yep, decent idea. He goes for some card draw himself. That's just for Lurker, so yep, absolutely fine. Oh, okay. Hello, Volition. You see, Ikuturso played, makes that Defender. Defender doesn't do a lot, but it does allow him to get around Lurker. He uses the ability to take it across so that that doesn't die. Decent move. Really, in an ideal world, he should have played the 5-4 there and used the 4-5 as the blocker. Right? Just to minimize overrun. If you lose by 1 health, you're going to kick yourself when you go back and watch something like that. Always prevent as much as possible if that's a reasonable course of action. Unless you're aggro template, in which case you just, reload. Okay, uses that, draws a Isle. I keep going, click on the actual pause button. Swings there, sure. Plays Kadeho. What he's done there, though, is, like, lost the damage. So, Dunami's made the wrong play, putting the twins that way around, and then Enter went and corrected that mistake. I do get putting on Benimi, absolutely, but kill that, then move it on to Benimi. You still make that Defender, it still can't attack, giving you time to regen. It can't be, given deadly in any way that will threaten you. Right? You should also, if you're on the attacking side, be looking to maximize damage. Okay, yep. Misanthropia's... I suppose Misanthropia does get the kill. And he does have the way more favourable board state. along with yellow-green, so it's reasonable to expect action cheating. Additionally, he's got a bunch of large bodies. So yeah, I don't mind. Instead of Impel on Banimi, just play Island. Yeah, another great point. That would have given you 2 options for a regen. Yeah, absolutely. Just, yeah, the swing there was the issue. He needed to swing first then. It's a shame this didn't have 1 more mana, because he could have burnt Misanthropia, God of Gamers, crowned on the twin, and gotten that back for another repeat. I don't think that's the ephemeral twin. Absolutely, the Jin should have killed Maze, so you can just guarantee if you're out of there. Yeah. Yeah, Jinsook. Yeah, Jinsook could have targeted this, killed that. Then Ikuturso's just got to contend with that. I guess he's protecting his health, and I do understand that. I don't mind it. It's not an atrocious play, and knowing that the board's about to be wiped of most tempo. Wait a minute. Hold on. Did I just miss something real bad? Wasn't that there? Yeah. That should have swung. Yeah, okay, beautiful. At least you saw it. That's important. The fact that you're looking at this and you're able to pick up things. If you had swung, you would have taken no damage from the Ikuturso that is alive next turn. Right? Because Misanthropia on the 5 is 8. Unfortunately. Ah, the corn's up. Yes, I am the stupid. Yep, great point. No, never mind. Never mind. Fair enough. Let's continue. Everything dies to Misanthropia. That comes up. See, the issue here is the second he moves it, it's not Defender. If he had swung there and Volition, yeah, there's these last 2 turns have been a shambles. I'm sorry to say. Yes, Laser pointed it out. Use the Jinsook to kill the Maze. You swing with the twin. He doesn't have an Ikuturso. However, he is then also making a mistake with the Ikuturso. Correct me if I'm wrong, Volition still is an action sheet, right? You still get a standard action, right? It's just like stunned next turn or something. I genuinely haven't seen Volition played since the nerf. I don't play Volition. I mean, stunned after attack. Right. So, that's 13 damage he missed. Yeah, so attack regularly, then Volition. So, this Ikuturso should not be alive. Equally, because you made that mistake, you should be on 2 health. And he would still have the body to block the twin. And he'd be able to play a Kolobok here in the second to right lane. And he could play a Corn to get ready to draw a card. And he could put Isle of Busan under. Not quite that much, but he could have put Isle under to regen it as well. Mind you, it's missing, but still. He should have won the game here, essentially, and he didn't, which is a huge shame. And this is... I boiled this down to essentially just... I'm not saying, ha ha ha, enters a shit player, right? I boiled this down to, you've got this Plague Maiden mechanic that you like. You've obviously got Big Boy Volition as a contingency / a second win con. And his deck hasn't quite been working. His Plague Maidens hasn't worked at all. He's feeling pressured, right? That's one of the biggest things you really need to do if you want to hit Myth or hit Champion, is you need to learn to just not give into pressure. I know that's a horrible movie cliche, right? But you need to just be able to think logically at all times. True, he would kill that and then still a lot of damage. Still a lot of damage, Flop. Yes. He would have swung there and then had to swing into the twin. Great point. He's saying oops, but he has to have clicked the card and drawed it out. I don't know what his thinking is there. I don't know. What could he have been trying to do? Maybe he's quite literally the only thing I can account that to is a finger snap. Yes, and the maze, yep, also not a great idea. With Jin Sook, a neg 2, a Collarbot will take care of it before you get to play it. You have a health lead. Health is a resource. Use it. If you win on 27 health or 1 health, you're still winning, right? So it's 1 damage. Use that as a resource. Oh, and now he's just got Board Mountain, and this is the absolute end here, unfortunately. And Shroud of the Pit. Yeah, that's not good. We see a Racer go into Collarbot, rush it off the board before he can get much more ramp out of it. We see Imperative Bell go down. Imperatives something. We see another twin down, that's 2 large bodies. Now, Dunamis doesn't quite have the flexibility of using his health as a resource quite as readily. That being said, it's 2-1. You could put it there, force him to use mana, right? If you force him to use 2 mana, at this point it's not a huge chunk, but it is something. Right? Could have just put it there and then. There's no AoE in Green Yellow. Yana Virus, but let's be real. Good AoE control. Idric Beast? Okay. Warded Overrun? Sure. I feel like that's definitely a placeholder card. But even then, because he has Wonder Drug, that kind of reinforces my point that he should have put both twins over there. Yeah, I'll take that. Yep. Okay, another Misanthropia, sure. Okay, yeah, he gets more overrun damage from it. Yeah, absolutely. Keeps it alive with the Isle. And, yep. Well, as far as he knows. But, here's a quick lesson. The only, as far as I'm aware, 4 Stealther that is natural are 2. Thriving Shade and Mimic, both of which are minimum 4/4. 4 health doesn't change a thing, unfortunately, in that situation. Would have been great to have Volition go with that Idric Beast, yes. So essentially at this point he's lost to a finger slip. And none of this would be a problem if Dunamis had killed the Ikuturso. Hey, this is what the Academy's here for, right? It is pointing out these things to try and... Decoy, that is a great point. 4 purple. But Thriving Shade is purple too, isn't it? Anyway, you've got 3 options, and who plays Decoy? Maybe like mono purple. I love how 3 of you immediately said exactly the same thing. Just Decoy is purple, there's Decoy, but it's Decoy. And Decoy is 4 mana. All 4 drop stealthy with 4 purple. Beautiful. Yeah, and he won to drugs, which is absolutely fine. God of Gamers. Yep, sure. I would have preferred Jinsuk. Perfect grade. Because you can perfect grade, and then if it survives, you can... Oh, mind you, this allows him to perfect grade and crown at the same time. So yeah, sure. Whatever way around he wants to do it. Yeah, good choice. Now, he could crown on God of Gamers at this point to get God of Gamers back in short order for the perfect grade. Okay, goes for the Daigoju. With the Sappo guarding him against... Yeah, oh, this has been Dunamis' game for a while now. We're just watching the proceeding that leads up to the, the execution, right? This is Enter walking up to the headsman's axe. Yep, uses his ability so that he doesn't get blighted. Good choice. Plays a Serpent Den to block that. Ukuturso, very nice. Absolutely. But of course, Spirit Away. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Dunamis just has the answers because he's had the card draw. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That is a GG to Dunamis. So let me get up a quick notepad and make note of that. Enter gets 1 pack just for coming along and playing and offering himself as learning material to the, to the gathering. Let me switch back to the game chat screen really quickly. There we are, that's much better. Now, if you type it, you can see yourselves. And Dunamis gets 2 packs for the win. Congratulations, my good sir. Well done. So, yes, the main things I would say is... Yeah, look, the biggest play that sticks out to me in the memory, and I know that took a while, is the Ikutoso. Make sure, again, read the rules. Read the rules on the board. If you had refreshed your memory and gone, okay, that's misanthropian, it loses 3 health at the start of next turn, it might have clicked that 5 damage is what you need to deal with that. Oh, look at that, I can do 5 damage if Jinso kills that, right? So take 5-10 seconds, just reacquaint yourself with the board. You make your play, you look away to your other screen, or you look down at your phone, or even if you're paying attention. A lot of things can happen. You lose track of what's going on. You lose track of Slayer. You lose track of Winter, etc. Right? So. There are several points in that game. Yeah, like Ken Flock was saying, there are several points where that game could have pivoted in different directions for both sides. Absolutely. Absolutely. There was several points where either side could have won that, and they didn't. So. Oh, God, so itchy. Alright. Our next match. Let me see just quickly if Aether has sent me the video. I will take a minute or two to have a sippy sip and treat my poor throat and see if good old Aether has sent me his video. I don't think he has. Not yet, at least. So, we're just going to continue. Is yellow, purple, green too greedy? We were discussing. Yes. Yellow, green, purple is too much 3 drop. Also, don't run more than 40 cards. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. people will argue that, the decrease in draw chance is like 1% at 1 extra card. That's still, you play 1,000 games, it's going to affect you, right? So don't run more than 40 cards. And yes, like, yellow, green, purple is basically one of the worst tricolours you could do. Yeah, it's one of the worst colours you could do, just because basically all of their power plays are 3 mana. Whereas if you were to splash something like blue, at least then you're looking at some 2s, or orange, you're looking at 2 for Kushiel, etc. Right? I was wondering if yellow, purple, green was an exception to 40 cards, as I've decked myself out a few times. Yeah, look. Is it a reasonable time to verse you? Yeah, probably not. I'd probably put that as an IOU. Now, for tonight's second stream, ladies and gentlemen, our second match. Let's see. Alright, first response in chat. Do we go additional versus malicious or astral versus goodnight? Who do we go next? Goodnight. Okay, we've got astral versus goodnight. Let me pause this quickly. Let me rewind it, and let's get to the proper window, ladies and gentlemen. I have my Mythgard open just as a screen filler at this point. If all has worked... hold on. Hello. Hey, there we go. Alright. Astral Child versus Goodnight. So, we are looking at yellow-blue versus purple-green. So, Goodnight, if you're here, or if you're watching this back, I apologise for what I'm about to do. If you are running Necromantic, don't run it without disc. Okay, now that is sorted. Listen, unless you're running some weird, spicy, like, spirit thing, don't run Necromantic without disc. It's just not worth the slot. Because you don't have an ability to discard. Especially, do not run Necromantic with Journey of Souls. Now, I understand the thought. It's like mass recursion. Anything that's not picked up by Journey of Souls is picked up by Necromantic and vice versa. Especially seeing as you're going like Emperor Coys and you're buffing. I get it. It doesn't work. Necromantic isn't worth the slot without disc. Now, on the other side, we've got Zalua, Bulwark, Thane, Singing Stones. Okay, so we've got enchantments. So we've got a fairly standard like yellow-blue, play things on enchantments, buff the things on enchantments. You've got Zalua in there to repair your Singing Stones, your Olimar rings, etc. Sure. You've got Bulwark to get some buying power, some staying power on some things. Sure, absolutely. His opening hand isn't fantastic. I'd like to see one more blue in there that's burnable. Because I don't want to burn Singing Stone for Thane if at all possible. But that's what he's going to have to do. He's not going second, which is unfortunate, because a Thane turn 1 is ridiculous. Like, fucking spicy. On the other side, we've got Foot Soldiers is his turn 1. We're missing a turn 2. Wind as turn 3. Wind's not great anymore. Or is it Smoke that's not great anymore? It might be Smoke. No, Smoke's better. It got Swift, didn't it? We'll see. We'll find out, I'm sure. We've got Balance, so he's got some card draw. I still don't like Balance too much. See, a lot of people considered the Smoke a nerf. Because 3/3 no retaliatory damage with Swift would have been a meta card. But instead they swapped it to Teleport. Okay. Yeah, so the other thing is with Journey of Soul, you usually don't want Journey of Souls with green. because Raid the Tombs is one of the best card draw in the game. I've seen some people being like, I don't like Raid the Tombs, it's kind of a weird card to me. It's incredible. It is the cheapest to draw in the game, and it is less conditional than Balance. I just don't like it. Now, if you do not have raids in here, that's silly. But then raids wouldn't synergize with Necromantic, raids wouldn't synergize with Journey of Souls. If I build a green deck, raid is a auto-in. Let's continue. Well, let's begin, shall we? Let's see the first card played. Singing Stone gets burned. Hey, we get a greetings from Astro. That's nice. Hey, manners! That's always welcome. Songfoot Soldiers, absolutely. That's to be expected. Yep, burns the... Whoa, okay, we have a weird noise. Give me a moment, chat. What is that? We've got a bird freaking out, don't we? We've got a bird freaking out. Silly boy. Alright. So we see the turn 2 play. Absolutely fine. That's to be expected. Necromantic gets burnt, that gets moved across. Sure, so if that goes for the kill, it gets dealt with really quickly. He doesn't have Impel. That's the correct choice. Absolutely. I have no idea what's going on. It is 2 AM in the morning. And I think the apartment that backs onto mine is drilling holes. Okay. Cool. So we get Maze to hand. Sure. Is there anything he can really do here to keep this alive? Yeah, he can pretty much give it Bulwark. He can Bulwark, he can Corn, is probably his play. Burns to the Zalua, okay. Oh, he goes to the Serpent Den instead. Does he move this? He does, okay. He does the move instead. Absolutely, sure. Gets basically a recursive value on the board. Absolutely. That takes the trade, this moves across, continues to apply pressure to the Thane. Good. He's not doing damage, but he's stopping Thane, which is a very strong early game threat. He's stopping it from doing damage, so absolutely. Choice. I approve. Another Serpent Den. Look, honestly, at this point, it blocks, but then he does that. He should have moved it the other way. I get that that is the safer move, but the second you see a 3 stealth, you've got to think it's one of the Shinobis. So the ping becomes a problem, and what he's done is opened up a lane. Nope, they're swift now. Never the hell mind. Never the hell mind. Plays Corn in the open. Koi gets put out, buffing something. That swings, but that's just going to keep blocking. So he doesn't need to worry about that. He draws a card, gets Clay Effigy, burns Maze, that moves back. He's finally rid of that threat. So, Astral Child's in a great spot. He's got a lot of enchantments down. He's got Deadly Snakes if he needs it. He's got Reconstruct, so he'll have Root of the World. Hold on. Born Again made him lose 3 souls. Yeah, it came out of the graveyard. Again, Journey Souls doesn't really work with green. Born Again kind of can screw it if you're not paying attention. This is really strong. This is fairly standard yellow-blue shenanigans. It can fall apart very easily, and blue can kind of deal with it really well if it's set up for it. But yes, it can very quickly become insurmountable. And he's got an Olimar Ring in hand, so this is about to become real nutty. And he's just drawn a Demolition Speedway. And he's drawn another Goliath Spear. Okay, that's kind of feral. That is the worst possible position. Why? I get the thought that goes through his head is, my Koi's gonna kill that. But it's not just the spider that is deadly, it's anything on that type. Right? So the better decision was to put it one over to the right. Put it blocking the Thane. Even better, put it opposite the Thane and have it threaten the Khorne. That's a better overrun for you if he doesn't kill it. And you are also not being deadly. Because he doesn't know there's a Goliath weapon now. He's screwed either way because of Goliath's weapon. I get that. He doesn't know that. And yes, if you have nothing in the Boneyard, it still burns the souls. Even if it doesn't bring anything back. It is coded as burn 3 souls, check. Bottom card of graveyard, back to hand. If there's no card there, it's nothing comes back. He swings, kills that, sure. He doesn't take any damage yet. He doesn't swing in there, okay. Is that a good or a bad decision? The thing here... No, it's a terrible decision. What he's allowed to happen is that spider is now going to kill his Terrigal. His buffed Terrigal. Right? He should have killed it with a Koi. Who cares about a 3-4 when you have lost a 7-8 because of it? Something I say when I'm streaming a lot is trade on my terms. And I think that's one of the things that helped me get to Mythgard, is stop being conservative of your minions. As long as you have removed the opportunity for him to do something more, the trade is probably worth it. Right? Like, yes, trading into this, you're losing a 3-4 into a 1-3. But he doesn't have Impel. He's got no way to get deadly this turn that he knows of. He can overwrite one of these with a Goliath's weapon, whatever. It's just, yeah, he needed to kill that and he's lost a 7-8 because of it. If Astral Child picks up on the mistake and utilizes it, we see a Stinging Stone come out. We'll probably also see an Olimar ring. I don't know whether this was a case of he was being greedy for something in particular, or he didn't see it. Again, this is another case where Rule 1 might come up. Double check and read the effects on the board before you make any plays, because that was a dead bat with a 3-4 against the 2-2. Like, right? That's actually even sicker if you don't value life too highly. The problem is... No, I'm sorry. There is no world in which having a 7-8 with no effects is better... having that on the board is better for you as the opponent than having a 3-4 with no effect anymore on the board. Right? Because if he loses by that 3 health difference, that is the play that cost him the game. Yeah, also, less damage means, yeah, protecting your artifacts, which is important for this deck. If you can punch through their Olimar rings and their Singing Stones, if you get rid of all 4 of those goddamn things, they are in so much trouble as a deck. Hey man, that's what the Academy's here for. I hope he can watch this back. I hope he can be like, bugger, I have to pay attention when playing this deck. I have to remember deadly, 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 deadly. If nothing else, watching this will burn that little skull symbol into his fucking brain. Right? This is what we're here for. I'm trying not to sound too harsh when I say this. I'm trying not to be like, he missed deadly peasant. Right? Alright, sorry, the British side of the family was coming out there. Swings for 2 damage, absolutely. He's got deadly spiders, he's got snakes to fuel it. Tong soldiers, doesn't matter, he's gonna swing them. That still kills that. Kills that? No, it only does 3 damage. He shouldn't have it on the board anyway, but yeah, that was a terrible decision. Not even that, right? Hold on. Even if it wasn't deadly, that is... Mind you, he didn't give it overrun. But had he given it overrun, that was less overrun. Nah. He should have targeted this, even if they weren't deadly. If they were just 2-4 anything. Attacking the 3-4 was the right call, you reckon? Since he has an Olimar. But why? And you don't care about the lifetime at 25. Yes, but surely, like, both of them were going to do exactly the same thing. The match they could do is get overrun and overrun through a 2-2 bot. Both identical plays. Right? There is no held cheated across. He could have Hotel Bucket for 3 damage, whatever. Surely in that instance, getting rid of the 7-8 is still mathematically the logical decision. Right? Like, if you lose by 3 health, that is the decision that cost you the game. He didn't overrun, and he went into a deadly, so the point is moot. But, I don't know. I'm not quite sure where you're coming from there. It's a bit more value at this point, you just secure your victory. I mean, look, he's not in a particularly bad position. He's probably got the win under his belt, I'm not denying that, but like, I'm just trying to think of how, like, you know, champion players would think. Right? I'm sorry, Laser, I'm not quite sure where you are on the scale. If I'm talking up to a champion, just tell me to sit the fuck down, eh? But, like, the more you make the perfect champion, okay, I'm gonna shut my mouth after just saying, like, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna shut my mouth. Never mind, Laser. Alright, he swings in there. He knows that's a mistake. We won't go into that too much. Double Olimar. This is over. This is 100% over. He's got Recursive Snakes with Singing Stone and double Olimar in hand. Okay, he gets more value out of his Spitter with Bulwark. Sure. Gets an Olimar out. Yep. Yep. This is becoming a problem. It's not an obvious play, and killing the 7-8 is definitely not wrong. Alright, cool. At least I'm not completely wrong. Gets out another 7-8. Terragon, love it. Damn, look, when those Koi hit right, isn't it? Again, he's putting it opposite deadlies. Right, you've seen 2 Goliath Sweeps. Unless you see Tangle Skin go down, he can't have 2 more. And he... yeah, that's just... He needed to put it here. Who cares about a spider if you have a 7-8 overall? It needs to go there. The den is wrong though, yeah. Alright, at least I'm not getting that call wrong, you know? Yeah, look. That needed to go there. He's just throwing away bodies at this point. The advantage of green-purple, the reason green-purple mid-range is such a good deck, is because at 5 mana, which can happen as early as like turn goddamn 3 if you're lucky, you just start pumping out bodies every turn. That is a 2 to 3 body trade for most decks. And he has thrown away 2 7-8 Terragons. So that is on average like a 3 body swap. A 3 for 1. And he's... Well, yeah. Okay. That is something else we can get into. Thank you so much. He's overlapping his spider dens. Astral, if you're watching this, my friend, try to space them one further apart. Right? I get they're probably put just adjacent to your snakes so you can get your snakes across. If you can all help it in the future, try not to get overlapped so you have more lanes of control. Again, comes back to a point from the first match. Control as many lanes as possible. Remember the asterisk. It's an asterisk saying everything has exceptions. Honestly, I think Astral is as checked out of this game as I would be on it. Look, the victory is probably fairly certain, but I've come back from worse than this. So, this is about the worst. This is really not good. See, this is what yellow-blue looks like when it hits its stride from turn 1. When just everything goes right. I missed the play button. He has 7. Lantern Colossus with Cloak wouldn't have changed anything. Again, dude, it's deadly. It's just one body trait. I mean, he's lost. There's nothing he can do. He's just putting bodies down to show good sportsmanship. He's not being salty and giving up. Good on him. He's putting down bodies. He's lost. Yeah, so that is utterly disgusting. He's got both his Olimar rings. He's got both his Seeing Stones. At that point, with this many enchantments on the board and those all at full health, you've lost. There is basically no deck in the game that could bloody well come back from that. Maybe Angel Loop, if the Angel Loop has reached its goal. That's about it. And that's simply because it wipes the board literally every turn. Astral's 2 Deadly Spiders better than his opponent's deck. There's not too much wrong with the deck. We'll continue, watch the victory screen, swing through for the damage. Oh, that is some gentlemanly shit. Can I just say that? Just enough to do the death. You're not swinging through to be like, oh, look at my E-penis and how much damage I can get through. Gentlemanly shit, Astral. Very nice way to end that. Do they both GG? This is important. I don't think the recording's going to be long enough. Wasn't long enough. Damn. Yeah, or if you have exactly Herald of War. Another great one. Now, we will just go through very quickly. Very, very quickly. It's not a great green purple. That's right. Yeah, Koi, like, if he wants to do a green-purple meta, Koi doesn't have a place, Shinobi doesn't have a place, Necromantic doesn't have a place, Tong Foot Soldier doesn't have a place. I didn't see... No, he does have Raid the Tombs. Excellent, excellent. He didn't use them. Terragon's good, Thriving Shades don't have a place, Wake the Bones, absolutely, Lantern Colossus, absolutely. I feel like this is probably green-purple with what I have. That's very much the vibes I'm getting with this deck, whereas Astral is... I have built nothing but this deck from day one, and or I have nearly a full collection, right? Because that is about as meta as it gets. I don't think we saw a Sappho, but yeah. Alright, not too bad. Not too bad for our second game. I am going to take a brief BRB just because I keep scratching my nose and I need to go do something about it. It's driving me insane. So I will be back very shortly. And I will throw it. I have a BRB screen I guess I should use. So I will return very shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back, and yes, Aether, I noticed that the other day, my friend. We do use the same overlay. I just color shifted it to be the Mythgard orange. That's all I did. But yeah, you run the purple, right? Yeah, I went through and picked this at the start of the new year, and I didn't think to check other streamers. It's the only one I liked anyway, so. Alrighty, welcome back everybody. Shall we get this third match underway? Let's have a look. Alright, let's do this. Oh, no. Let's make a note of who won. So, Astral won, getting 2 packs. And his opponent was Goodnight, who got 1 pack. Perfect. Alrighty, for our final match, we have Additional versus Malicious, I think. Yeah. Fuck, I'm good. Fig jam. Alrighty. Alrighty. Let's double check something. Alright, cool. So, third match, Malicious versus Additional. I don't know their ranks particularly. We've got blue-green versus blue-yellow. Okay, so already looking at this is a problem. This doesn't feel like a cohesive deck. You're going kind of enchantments and kind of Serpent Den, but also Valkyrie, but also Tailroot for the enchantments again. It's kind of all over the place. I don't disagree with a yellow-blue looking at Valkyries. Sure, if you want to use some of those enchantments, maybe even the Deadly, Yahuis, whatever, right? But don't probably play Serpent Dens, and then you're using Journey of Souls. This isn't a coherent deck. This isn't something you would take to My commentary for the match you just did will be uploaded in a minute. Well, fantastic. What I think we'll do is after this match, we'll go and listen and see how my commentary and our thoughts as a community compares to you as like a big-time champion player, right? Oh, and it would help if I'm on the right screen. Hold on. Okay, why is this not matching? Bulwark is nutty with Valks, that's about it. Yeah, look, it's not a conventional colour combo. Valks is just best served as mono, basically. Any splashes kind of reduces it. Also, Grease Monkey isn't good. This is very much a, this is what we have. Yeah, now see, I have a few ideas for the second academy to provide a little more information. I'm looking at trying to fit names, ranks, deck list, game, and my face on the same screen. But we can talk about that after. For now, we have Additional versus Malicious. It would help if I stopped trying to press that button. Alright, let's move on. Burns the Brainstorm, absolutely. You don't need card draw this early. Field of Poppies. Field of Poppies isn't great. Fragile is decent, but I'd rather just get a +1/+1. Just saying. Just saying. And yeah, he's got triple double yellow in hand with not fantastic blue cards. Valkyrie Tough is a decent double blue drop, but to burn that, because he's going to play that first turn, because it's only one drop, he's going to burn both of those. That and that are the only halfway reasonable cards in his blue. Yeah. Number one thing, Malicious, if you're watching this, my friend, deck. You need to just more cohesive. You've got a lot of ideas. You need to boil it down. If you play Poppy turn 1, I'd play it on turn 2 or 6 close to the board space. Playing it mid is all. Yeah. Poppy is almost something you play later as a combat trick, right? It's like, haha, surprise, fragile. The trades are now no longer as bad they were going to be. It's not something I feel like you play out early, like a speedway or like circuits. I am so sorry. Hold on. Alright. Ice Spike, Rune of Denial. I'll be interested to see how many of those he has. I don't mind a Rune of Denial. A Tech Splash, absolutely. Choice. I'm interested to see if this is just all farmers. Mend is weird. I think he's attempting some sort of like enchantment value thing with Journey and just thinking like Mend can keep... The problem is this game revolves around, can you kill the creature in one turn? No? Do something else. That's very general. But a lot of how the game is runs around that, right? So Mend doesn't have a ton of purpose outside of like the most defendy, just stall you right to hell decks. Mend Yahui, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Breath of Wintertide is the most shocking card here. But maybe here's Maelstrom to try and pull it off. Yeah. Let's not rip the guy too badly. Okay, he's got a Volcanic Cruci. He's got something. He burns the volcano. I mean, it's reasonable to burn the volcano. Yeah. He plays that. That's good. That keeps Tailroot in hand. Hopefully he realizes that's the best play here. He doesn't have a 2-drop, so he does the Smite. Absolutely. Plays the Valkyrie Tough. Burning a Valkyrie Tough. Okay. No. I would have burned the Breath of Wintertide. The rest of here isn't, like, these aren't bodies. You've got 3 cards in hand that aren't bodies. One that is a body that is very quickly getting outclassed. One which is a body which is only good on enchantments, which you don't have in hand. Right? Bodies. Bodies. Especially with Valkyries, bodies are key. Breath of Wintertide, you should have just burnt that for your blue. I'd love to see what his mana curve is in this deck. Just as to why he doesn't have a 2 play. Second field of poppies. And drop you man. Okay. He's sacrificing the early game. Basically, at the moment, additional's just lucky. If I had to... I mean, we faced this last night on the stream, right? Every time I have to face like 3 turns of not doing something or playing something like a field of poppies, that's effectively not doing something, I start to get twitchy. It starts to be not great. Yeah. He's just lucky that there's very little tempo coming from Malicious. Okay. He can't Serpent on curve, which is a shame. But yeah, and this is the kind of awkward thing. You've got your best 2-drop is a double. Then one of your better 3-drops is a double of the opposite colour. So there is a gem management problem there. It's one of the reasons I don't run both Ghoul and Recruiter in the same deck if I'm doing something like orange yellow, because it can just screw with your colour balance a bit. Orange red, I think, is more the case I was doing that in. I don't think this is... this is, like I said, this is very much just what I have. I think Malicious is very much one of the newest players. So this is where I want to try and help the most. I mean, we're already looking at 2 enormous bodies, which is a huge... I don't hate that as an idea. Okay, he's got a health lead. As long as he can keep throwing a chunk blocker under this, which is not overrun, and get a semi-reasonable body under that once or twice, I get why he's putting that there. That is a damage race. Sure, absolutely. You're 7 health up on the go. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. The Valkyrie Tough over there as well is uncontested. Absolutely. Now, he just drew Cataclysm, which is, let's be honest, a bad card. I feel like this is just a bit of... I don't know whether this is what I have or if it's reach. If that's the whole idea of what he's trying to do with like Thunderclap and just board clear and reach and Maelstrom, not Cataclysm. I'm an idiot. Never mind, that is the 1 damage pinger. Okay, so interesting. He's trying to do like a Field of Poppies Maelstrom clearer. Interesting. I mean, it's not something that would reach champion, but at this rank, certainly fun. And the good thing here is he got the start that he needed for something like that to be really optimal. Doesn't play it though. In fact, he burns it. Yeah, sweet. But Maelstrom isn't that bad in a deck like that. Honestly, should work on enchant placement though. It's essential. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing wrong with it in the slightest. Yes, he should have placed the Fields of Poppies further apart, much like we saw in the second match. We've got an overlap. Whereas if we didn't, he has 2 different places he can, well, 4 essentially different places he can put the Maelstrom for different levels of effect. Absolutely. That's too big brain for me, that's for sure. This is one of those decks where if it sets up, it's actually going to be kind of potent. The problem is it's only going to set up successfully 2 out of every 5 attempts, sort of deal. And that's not reliable enough for climbing play outside of like circle. That swings through, gets rid of the Drumnir Band. And your Breath of Wintertides to give them fragile. Okay, no. Bow bow. What he should have done is... Oh no, I guess I get it. The unfortunate thing is the snake was summoned, right? So he doesn't have the ability to move across, because the best case scenario here would be snake there, Valkyrie there. But he doesn't have that option. Is that the best choice? I mean, yes. At the end of the day, that's probably the best defensive choice there. But that's going to go through and kill that, then that's going to overrun for more value. The snake is just unfortunate. See, sometimes, just sometimes, Snake Dan can do more damage than good. Because it gives someone a reliable, low defense overrun. Sometimes you don't want to play it, especially if you're not speccing into it. If you don't have Olimar Rings, if you don't have Seeing Stones, if you don't have the relevant buffs for the snakes, it's kind of not a good card. Okay, gets a Maelstrom back, sure. Field of Poppies goes down, so now we've got Fragile across the whole board. We get a Runa Denial to F off the snake permanently, beautiful. That goes through for the max overrun. That kills so that that survives, absolutely. Stone Mother gets burnt, Volcanic Rissy comes out. That swings there. Volcanic Rissy serves as the block, gets him to 4 health. Okay. Fort Lightning goes down to kill that, which keeps him alive. That would have kept him alive, but the Volcanic Rissy, does that have overrun? Denial before attack is wrong, drops a damage. Let's go back a moment. Not maximum overrun. Yes. Yeah, true. He denied himself a damage. Whether that makes a difference, I don't know. But that's an excellent point. You have to factor in things like Slayer, things like basically Slayer and Fragile when doing overrun and focused. Those 3. Plays that down, yeah, it's Blast 4, that's right. He does the Fort Lightning. Does that trace. Now, this is a perfect example of trade on your turns. He doesn't know what he's got in hand, but he has Demolition Speedway. Demolition Speedway would have been lethal. This is 100% perfect example of don't let him be the proactive one. Make the choice yourself. Take it off the board. That way he can't do some fancy bullshit to it and win with it. That way it can't get goddamn Godfather's horn, for example. Right? Perfect example. He would have won there if he didn't drop the 1 damage. I'm not surprised. Okay, draws Grease Monkey. He'll play Grease Monkey. Oh, I mean, he's just going to dump his hand. Okay, could have put that one over, so that was affecting that, but okay. Oh, and he just draws a Volcanic Grizzy. Top deck for the win! That was a lot closer than I expected it to be. That was really interesting. Malicious made 100% the right choice with the damage race, right? So let's give the boy his victory screen. Additional wins. There we go. Now, this right here is the best decision Malicious makes all game. Best decision he made all game. If I can just slow those down, and he can't contest these two for even like 2 turns, I can get through. Mal 1 here. Hey, dude. I'm used to those races having placed a ton of Face Hunter in HS. What? What? Hearthstone, I assume. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that boy, best decision you made all game. Yeah, that was interesting. I did not expect you to get that close. The deck isn't fantastic. It's very disjointed. Tell me, is this just a bit of a it's what I have deck? Yeah, he could have played with it too. True. It's mostly what I have. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely felt like it. Considering that the deck is really quite bad, and that's no fault of yours, you did really well against a fair bit more cohesive deck. Like, it's got an idea to it. It's not the most powerful idea in the world, but it's definitely not a bad one. And it's got some core elements. It's got Collar Box. It's got Draupnir bands. It's got good large bodies on it. Yeah, you did well. You did well to get that close. And I would have been super interested to see if he could have pulled it out if he hadn't have drawn the Volcanic Grizzy. That was just a super unfortunate top deck for him. That was a bad play by additional, like we've discussed. Yeah. Anyway. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the official matches of the Academy. However, if there are any other bronze, silver, or gold members in the chat, this has only been an hour and a half stream at the moment. So, actually, no, hold on. First, we have an Aether video, hopefully. Yes! Alright, let's see if I can download this in any sort of reasonable amount of time. Whew, that is large. That might take me a hot minute. Alright. If any bronze, silver, or gold player in the chat has a match they would like me to go look at, now is the time. It has only been an hour and a half stream. I will go do some matches live in the replays. The other thing is, please tell me if this download stops the stream at all. No, Astronomica, you do not count as silver, you mithril. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna go find a bronze, silver, or gold player, and I'm just gonna analyze a match. Nobody wants a match analysed. Is everybody scared, are they? Come on, we're all friends here. Someone volunteer. Bronze, silver, or gold? Give me a match to analyse. No download. Just stick your hand up. Be brave. Be the person we need. No, I'm Mithril 5, so I don't get gold. I might look for one of my matches. I mean, all you need to do is volunteer, and I can go grab matches. So, are you Casey07 in-game? Yes, you are. Alright, let's go have a perv, shall we? Let's go judge Casey. I'm joking, I love you. Alright. Is there any particular match on there you'd like me to look at? Is it going to be the champion match? Wait and see what the boy says. The champion match would be very interesting. That would be my default choice, just to see. Go for it? Alright, let's do this. Illumi, now, I will just double check. I'm fairly sure I played against him yesterday. Or not. Who did I verse yesterday? Wow, he played a lot against Tempest. Unlucky yo. Alright, never mind. Yeah, let's watch this game. Let's see. It was probably a deck I was testing. Okay. Well, we can test your plays and decision making as much as we can test any amount of deck building. So, first of all, let's switch POV. It's weird that it starts you in the opposite POV. Alright. Blue, yellow, purple is weird. You've got Frecky Sidecar. I feel fairly confident saying that is your only, not only, but predominantly your only Valkyrie there. Rainbow. So, is this trying to just rush Earth Slide? You don't have a 2-play, you don't... Oh, well, you do have a 3-play, but it's not ideal. This is not great. I like how you've realised you're up against a champion and it's like, ah, shit. Okay, interesting. Is this like, essentially, Earth Slide with Rush and All Fathers? You should add analyze replay to buy for channel points. It's kind of a little bit of what this is a test for. Basically, am I a competent enough analyzer that people would want that? Because, let's be honest, my content at the moment is just, I talk shit with chat while I play some games, and I try to be mildly educational about it. Yeah, he's running... It's interesting. Yellow-red is different. You don't see it too often. It's cool to see though. Essentially, it's just a ton of card draw on top of a fairly standard sort of red value rush engine, right? And yeah, I had your deck pegged right from the start. It's Ursa. Unfortunately, your deck is too slow to verse something like this. His deck is a little slower than the normal archetype because it's yellow. But it's still going to be super unfortunate. Yellow-red implies stretcher usually. Yeah. Yeah. Goes for Magnus, gets that board clear. He's continuing. That's a great turn 1 play. I love getting Grandma on turn 1. It's really nice. He goes Stairway to Hades. Interesting. Okay. I mean, he's got the health lead, right? Again, like I've said during the analysis tonight. Health is a resource, use it, and he has a fucking abundance at this point. I'm very glad things like Grandma Men's avoid the clay effigy. Oh, and that is a Frecky Sidecar into a Hotel Barkeep, all reduced. Never mind, it's a root of the world. Interesting. Oh, Fleeting. Hello, hello. That's a card I don't see very often. I know it used to be a big thing, but that was before my time. It's a reasonable amount of cards to bring it in on. Fair. It's not bad at all. Okay. And he's just going to start generating insane value. That'll come back, it'll awaken, it'll summon another Twin Juna. Shit's a little nutty. That's actually really interesting. I have never seen that before, which is really cool to see. Unfortunately, so here is the problem with your deck immediately. You don't have enough bodies to hold off something like this, right? This is just a classical control deck. Yellow, red, control is very solid. Burn Drug instead of Therapy, probably... I'll defer to you guys, I don't play yellow. The other thing is, there is a busted deck out there called Ramen Reconstruct. Seems good. Tea House is where the baby can't yeah, it's an issue with a couple of the mythics. It's just like, this would be really cool if I could have two of them, right? I feel like there's a few mythics that would become really viable if they were rares. Is green purple or yellow purple stronger? Green purple, in my opinion. I don't think. Aether says equal. Okay, I have yet to, I think, lose against the yellow purple deck as a green purple. Mind you, I'm low myth, so definitely defer to people like Aether or Laser. We've got genuine champions in chat. Defer to them. Alright. Banimi goes down, yeah, so we're kind of getting just bodies. Well, getting things ready for the Earth Slide. Burning the Allfathers hurts. But I get it. These are probably more important. But then you could have burnt Wonder Drog to get the Fleeting. Either one of three things happened, all of which are just Illumi making a misassumption, I think. There is a fourth alternative. There is either he thought Gigantomachia doesn't hit his minions as well, it hits 5 and above, or he forgot that it vanishes. Or, and this is the fourth alternative, and it's not a great one, is that he felt bad and wanted to extend the game to have some fun. To give the guy a sporting chance. The main weakness of green purple is no AoE or board clears. Yes, but when every minion you play after 5 is a 2 to 3 card trade, you clear boards regardless. Plus you have... I will go back in just a second over. Plus you have Perfect Grade for board clear, and you have Lantern Forces. Okay. Can I go back just a turn? I can't, can I? I have to go back 15. I can't just go back 1, can I? Alright. Oh, well, it's not 15, but yeah. Go a little faster. Agreed. I assume that's agreeing with me? Or is that agreeing with... the top end of green seems stronger than yellow, aside from Sapo. Okay, no, agreeing with that, sure. They're different. They serve different purposes. They're very different top ends. Aether, I'll warn you, this is gonna hurt, my friend. I hope you're paying attention, because this shit, this is real confusing. There we go, we get the Twin Juna down, the Twin Blank goes down, Twin Juna comes out. Banimi goes down, I don't feel like that was right. Should have burnt Wonder Drug, got Fleeting out or something. And he could Giganta Marcus. Was that a miss? Where was it? Was he trying to drag out Ica Feast and messed up? He wanted, yeah, I think he wanted to burn it. Yeah, that's an awkward fuck up. Yellow having, yeah. Yeah. I'd love to know, I'd love to have a chat with him and be like, what the fuck happened? What did you just do? Were you trying to burn it? Were you trying to play Ica Feast? What's going on here? And he gets the Earth Slide out. Yep. It's not a groundbreaking Earth Slide, I'm not gonna lie. That was worse than, that's way worse than the Misanthropia that I threw away. Yeah, look, it's funny, I think we've seen like 2 or 3 genuine finger slips into Knights Academy. So, Casey, I definitely get what the deck is trying to do. I don't feel like you've got the bodies to back it up. It might require a shift in how you build the deck, or maybe you just got really unlucky. That's entirely possible. It's also possibly that you came up against a champion running red-yellow. You know. Yeah, Fleeting drops. I bet you wish you'd waited to turn on Fleeting. The problem is now he's seen that in your hand, he's going to finish you, because that has some reachy nonsense. It's interesting also that he blighted that when he knows you're going to loop it back to hand. Plays that. Does he Godfathers? Is this what this troll fucking does? Yes, it is. I wonder if he just forgot about Hades' effects there. What did you perhaps was trying to retry? Yeah, unfortunately. I definitely get what the deck is trying to do. It's not a ranked climb deck. It's just not strong enough in the current competitive environment. Really, there's only 1, maybe 2 enchantment-heavy decks that survive in the current environment. That being Sneaky Snacks and maybe, like, Deserts. Didn't want the +3 because I always need to. Yeah, look. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. And yeah, he just overwhelms you with bodies. He gets the Dashing Ringmaster and just finishes it. Yeah, gross. Unfortunately, coming up against a champion is pretty much an auto loss at like gold. Mithril, you start to have a chance. It just happens, man. I see too many people come up against a champion player and just go, oh, what's the fucking point? And they surrender. It's like, are you kidding me? You are passing up the best learning opportunity you might get for 100 games. Pay attention. Watch the replay over and over and over. Pick out everything you could have done differently. Look at where they're playing minions. Look at why they're playing their minions. It's the best learning opportunity. It's fantastic. I love being beaten by champion players. Because when you have finally analysed it enough, when you have finally played enough and you finally get that that rare, seldom win, it just ends up being incredible. I would never surrender. It's a good experience. Thank you, and that is the correct mentality. That is the shit we are trying to cultivate here. Better plays, better mentality, and an absolute bloodthirst for competitive play. Playing champ at lower rank is low risk, high reward. You lose fewer points if you lose and gain more points if you win. Give it your all. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm not saying there aren't good players in gold either. I got the very rare win against a champion in gold. I'm just saying it's rare. It's rare. I'm like, I don't know, like 3-1 loss to win against champions now. I'm not doing too badly against them, whereas when I was in gold, it was like way less. You have an advantage of surprise as a gold player. He probably has no idea what your deck does yet. Wow, Casey, I did not realize you had 100% collection. Jesus. Alright, son. Oh. Spent some money, huh? Oh, I thought my pool was, whew. Never mind. Oh, alright. Alright, we have a video from our good
Hey everyone.
Afa. Alrighty. Basically, I am going to shut up. I'm also probably gonna pause the music just in case he's got his own, or he's quiet or something. Yada yada yada. And if he's quiet, let me know in chat, and I'm gonna shut up and watch along with you. If I feel I want to pause and ask some questions or further clarify a point, I might chime back in. But for now, let's just make sure it's all working. Yep, that is Astral Child. And he doesn't have a video of himself, which totally would have been allowed to put in. Totally would have been fun. Actually, I might even just do this. I'm going to get my face off the screen. Oh, that's not going to work, is it? No, we're going in. You're going to have to look at me. Alright. Let us begin. Let me know if it's too quiet.
It's Aether SSB here, helping out with one of the matches for the Academy for QWERTY Jam. And yeah, we're just going to be doing some commentary today, talking about this matchup, the decks, the plays that are made, possible misplays or different what we're just going to be talking about a bunch of different stuff regarding this game. So right off the bat, we've got green-purple versus yellow-blue. It looks like the yellow-blue is more of I would say mid-rangey with the rainbow, but it might still run stuff like Volition and Horn as finishers, maybe like Worm. It's hard to say. I don't have access to the list, so it's just a guess.
Access to the list is something I'm looking to correct in the second week. I'm going to fiddle with some graphics, some overlays. It might not be second week, it might be like third, give me a bit more time to do it, but I'm looking to up the production value if people like this. So, we'll just continue.
I don't think we see it in this game from when I watched it earlier, but he might still run it. And for the green-purple, we've got what looks like a much more aggressive version of green-purple than I'm used to seeing, running stuff like Tongfoot, Koi. We're going to see a Born Again next turn when he draws it. He's also running Infuse and Journey of Souls, which I'm a little conflicted about with green-purple. I don't feel like it synergizes very well with what green-purple is trying to do. Especially with stuff like Necromantic and even Raid the Tombs. And Raid the Tombs can be okay. Necromantic can be okay too, because like you play stuff early like Tongfoot, you get it back from your path. You play stuff like Shinobi, it dies, you play Necromantic, you get back the Shinobi. But it's just kind of awkward. There's going to be probably several instances, like it's going to be pretty often that you end up either with no minions in your graveyard for something like Necromantic or your souls, and then you lose your souls, or that's really just it. Like it would be better just to not run this card at all, pretty much, in this deck. You can be running other 3-drops like Eidolon, which I'm assuming he runs, and if he doesn't, he definitely should. The Shinobis are fine. Even Bella's like fine in green-purple. better than the slower versions, which it doesn't appear this is one of, but it's definitely not good in this deck.
So, I mean, essentially what we were saying as well. So, yeah, just way more eloquently put, right? Not my little blabbing.
But again, like the path and hero power are also suboptimal, so maybe it's more important to have the right path and power, and then Necromantic would be fine. Also, no Callabach opener, which is always sad. As green, you always want that Callabach.
Truth.
Alright, yellow-blue goes first. Let's just go ahead and get into the game. The main stuff about the deck.
I talk fast. I think because you're watching me and then watching yourself, you're comparing. I talk real fast. It's something I do try to modulate, but I get excited.
I would say this matchup, before we get started, I'll say this matchup is probably bad for green-purple. It's just not fast enough to get under stuff like Misanthropia and the enchantments.
I find the way around that, I don't have a ton of problem with basically any yellow that's not like God playing Angel Loop. I find the thing is you actually have to play slower. You have to play just aggressive enough to destroy the artifacts when they come out, but you can't flop everything into a Misanthropia. It's awkward. It's awkward for sure, but it's about playing around it. You can't quite drop everything on curve, I find, against yellow.
Like, the enchantments are just going to kind of snowball and take over the board. And there's not much green-purple can do about it, especially when it's supposed to be more aggressive. You're probably not going to be running stuff like, I don't know. I really hope he's running like Short Stag and Murmur and Iku, but I don't know if he is. We don't see it in this game. But yeah, let's just get started. I think it's probably a bad matchup for green-purple. It's maybe even a bad matchup for like the greedier versions of green-purple. But I think it would be better than this matchup. Turn 2 Thane, always good. So I'm going to talk about this for a second. Because he's running Reconstruct here, he has to play this Thane close enough to contest, but he doesn't... Like, if... The thing about Thane is it's okay to play it on turn 2 against an aggro deck, or like even just an aggressive mid-range deck, to contest a 1-drop, if it means they have to like power on turn 2, because that's an incredibly off-tempo play that you're forcing them to do, and then you take board priority by playing onto an empty board. He draws Serpent's Den, which is huge. Sets up, like, he didn't have it, so you could argue this play is a little questionable. Like, maybe he should have played away from it and just played the Bulwark on the Thane. But he does draw the Serpent's Den, which pays off, because now he can play it on curve onto an empty board. Or like a... Okay, so what should have happened here is he should have infused and traded. It just makes the most sense. Born Again is fine too. It's just a little bit awkward for your path, because what's going to happen here is Astral Child is going to play Serpent's Den in front of this Born Again, and then you'll see on his turn, Goodnight's turn, he's going to trade the Born Again into the Serpent's Den, which is going to put him at 3 souls, and then he gets the Born Again back at the end of his turn, and he loses his souls on his turn because he has no minions in his graveyard.
And that was disgusting.
If he doesn't trade here, which he shouldn't. Yeah, he just moves. He loses his souls, so another instance where like it just doesn't synergize well. Suboptimal path for sure. Yellow-blue takes control of the board. Goodnight chooses to play Koi here over Thriving Shade, which I'm not sure I agree with. It's much less aggressive. Thriving Shade's more stats. I mean, Koi can hit something good, but it's better to get the stats now and Koi later, basically.
Yeah, I didn't even pick up on that, yes. Thriving Shade really should take priority over Koi. Again, something we've learned tonight is it's always about board presence. It's always about having control of as many lanes as possible, having the bodies on the board, taking the trades on your terms so that you are in charge of the board. Stats now versus stats later, right? If I'm controlling the board now, that buys me time to control it later with Koi coming in above me, right? So
maybe he hits something good and it pays off, but the safer play is just the shade. It contests the board better. You could even play it in front of like the maze or one of the snakes to prevent it from getting Meso Libre'd. He does have Misanthropia, so maybe he's trying to play around that a little bit by playing the lesser statted minion. But there's no way he Misanthropias here.
It's a reasonable point.
There's no way. So yeah, it's a little bit odd. It's not like terrible. It's just slower. It's a slower play. Burns.
And please note what Aether is saying. Do not Misanthropia in this sort of situation. Okay, don't get freaked out by 3 minions. Don't get freaked out by a 3/4. If you have to trade 2 or 3 things into it, whatever.
It's yellow. Only has 1 blue. Maybe he's just splashing blue. Plays the Goliath Web. Pretty good at contesting the board here. Same instance where like this Shinobi is just never gonna get through, pretty much. Ooh, he hit Tarragon with the Koi. But he plays it in front of the den. I guess he... Oh. I thought he was going to trade here. There's 2 problems with this. He allowed... I mean, he didn't know that Astral Child had Singing Stone or Alma Ring, which he had both of. But even if he doesn't, like stuff like Bulwark, it's too risky to leave that alive to trade into your... Well, really just to trade into the Tarragon. Even if it wasn't going to be able to value trade here, you should trade it off, for sure. Kind of an odd play. Gives away his Tarragon for free, sort of. Maybe he was planning on, like... No, actually, I'm not sure. It's just weird. I definitely think that's a misplay. Playing the Tarragon in front of this. You could have put it over here, or even, like, in this corner. Because you could hope for, like, to draw Sword Saint, assuming he plays it in his deck, which he definitely should.
Sword Saint is fantastic. Biting Blade is basically the best item in the game. Please use it if you're playing purple.
So yeah, play it in the corner with the Pearl. Just start life gaining off this snake. Force him to use something like Misanthropia to clear his own board to deal with your big minion. He does have second Goliath Web, which would kind of shut that down, but like Goodnight doesn't know that, and I wouldn't expect a second Goliath Web. It's a rare. He already played 1.
Yeah, the odds are
very, very odd here to play the Tarragon in front of this. I think this is probably the moment he loses this game. It's a huge mistake. He falls so far behind because he can't get any value from this Tarragon. And then he trades here as well. I think. From when I watched it earlier, I think I remember. Yeah. It's just such a bad trade. These Goliath Web destroy him. And he's lost. Like, the game is unwinnable at this point. Especially with this hand. Like, these double Olimar Ring, Singing Stone with triple Serpent's Den. Absolutely disgusting. Really good hand from yellow-blue. Purple-green had a pretty good hand, too. Good curve, but definitely more important.
At some point, you need to start thinking about who is the aggressor in this game. In this game, it always has to be the green-purple deck. Might be too high level, though. I mean, yes, by nature, a Serpent Den deck is never the aggressor. It's always on the defensive.
Important, I think, that yellow-blue had a good hand. Yellow-blue would have to have a bad hand in this matchup. Also, he just played another misposition from the from the Tarragon. He puts it in front of the Goliath Web again. Again, you should be hoping for Sword Saint, play it over here in the corner, take the damage, play Pearl on it, start life gaining to combat it. You can't contest the board at this point. It's not possible. So yeah, let's talk about these enchantments for a second.
That most players would give up, and I'm super proud that he didn't. like mother hen level crowd.
Second, the way this game played out, it made sense to position this way. But ideally, you would want like one den here, one den here, one den here, and the first two would be here and here. The first two he put down were this one and this one, and it kind of made sense with the way the board was positioned. But ideally, they would be in lanes 2 and 6, and then Goliath's Web would be where they are. This is the right spot for them, or maybe like one here and no, this is the right spot, and then the third Serpent's Den goes here in the middle usually. It just covers the most amount of space on the board, and you easily move your snakes over into the Goliath's Web if you need to. And he's not running Impel, so it's a little bit different. Like the Reconstruct, you don't need the Goliath's Web next to the Serpent's Den.
I'm not sure about Impel versus Reconstruct in this deck in particular. I've never really played it. But I prefer Impel as an ability. And I feel like impelling across with Serpents into Goliath's Webs and swinging is possibly better than Reconstructing and then having to wait a turn. Just a thought.
Necessarily, unless you run Impel, and then it's really important.
Yeah, the answer to who's the beatdown is almost always not the next player.
But yeah, let's just keep going. There's not much to say at this point. The game is over. There were two, I would say, significant misplays from the Tarragon positioning. But the real issue with this game is not the positioning. It was the fact that Goodnight didn't set himself up for success with his deck building choices. Infuse and Journey just don't synergize well with green-purple. It's a lot better with Seasons for the card draw. Or even like throwing a couple enchantments and run Rainbow just for the extra health or card draw. But yeah, what else could I say about this?
The good old streamer like, oh god,
I just wouldn't run Journey. That's the big point. Infuse even is okay. Like you can run Infuse if you want. It could help set up some trades. I think Impel is really good with purple, but if you want, you can run Infuse. Especially if he's like a more aggressive deck, it could be okay. But there's no way that Journey is right. No way. And Necromantic should probably be cut as well. Even if you cut Journey, you should still cut Necromantic. It's not worth it, in my opinion. Run stuff like, obviously, Short Stag, Shroud of the Pit, Wake the Bones for graveyard interaction, and it's enough. Especially with like a Bald Mountain, you get plenty of recursion for your like important minions. Other than that, pretty clean game from Astral Child, I will say. He didn't make any misplays that I noticed. He had a really good hand, so he was at an advantage, but he did play it well. So props to him for that. Goodnight, he played well for the most part. Couple big misplays, but in the end, I don't think it really matters because he was at such a disadvantage in the matchup, but he definitely didn't help himself out. And also, he didn't draw any cards, so that's another thing. He ran out of cards. Astral Child kind of ran out of cards too. I wonder if he's running stuff like Revelation and Wonder Drug, or if he's just relying on Rainbow for card draw.
Okay, in reaction to chat, I stand corrected. Okay, Reconstruct works in the deck. I'm sorry. Apparently, I attacked all the Reconstruct fans. No, but I do get it. I just thought, yeah, Impel allows you to be maybe a bit more proactive with it, just because you can Impel and then immediately act. But yes, that also relies on you getting a Serpent's Den, so it's more conditioned. So yeah, absolutely. Also, moving a snake having one more next turn, or I prefer Reconstruct, but Impel has some use. Yeah, I definitely see the uses of both. Reconstruct's probably more reliable. Impel would allow for more power plays, probably.
I think you definitely run Wonder Drug no matter what, and probably run like either a 1 of or 2 of.
Just quickly, people. Wraith of Tombs is a auto-include in green. Wonder Drug is auto-include in yellow. There are auto-include cards in every colour. Unless you're running some weird, funky archetype, one or two of them might get cut. But not a lot. There are auto-include cards. Kind of have to get over it and just build them. Because they're amazing.
Revelation. You can never have too much card draw in a deck like this. But yeah. So that's going to be it for me. I appreciate having this opportunity. I really like what QWERTY Jam is doing with this academy. I think it's a great thing for the community, and I would be happy to participate further as it continues. And hopefully you guys enjoy it as well and maybe learn something from it. I think it's really good for newer players to either participate in it themselves or to just watch and learn from it. There's a lot of good players that are perfectly willing to share their insight, and I think that's awesome. Sorry. I think it's awesome that QWERTY Jam is organizing this. So yeah, feel free to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube at AetherSSB. I go live frequently. I'm going to start being more active on YouTube, but I'm not yet. But you can feel free to sub on to me on YouTube already. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a great day. This was a fun match to watch. Nothing too crazy happened. Two interesting decks, I will say. I'm glad I didn't get a meta matchup, though maybe it would have been more helpful for you guys. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Make sure to follow QWERTY Jam as well and other content creators. We've got some pretty amazing content creators in this community. And I will see you guys later. All right, bye.
Mate, I don't even have to plug myself. Fantastic. Thank you very, very much for doing that, Aether SSB. I'm hoping to see lots more of our champion and high mythical players, content creators, etc. join in the future and do this sort of thing. I'm super chuffed, Aether, that you came along and took a chance on this first time around. It was amazing to have you on board, my friend, even though the match got there slightly late. And that's just a little bit down to my organizational skills. We'll work on that. Do go follow him. He does incredible content. A fair bit of my green purple deck is stolen from him and Tempest, so I probably owe him for getting the Mithril. And yeah, it's very interesting. We both cottoned on to the same points, but he definitely went more in depth. The knowledge is definitely a bit more there with him than with me. I'm the fast talker. I'm the Lightning McQueen of the city. Oh my god, I just referenced cars. Alright, I have to throw myself off the balcony, see y'all. Fucking Jesus. Alright. Other than that, I think there were a bunch of very interesting matches. I think definitely the star of the day was Astral. That deck just fired on all cylinders. That is the best you can ever hope for that deck to work, and he utterly utilized it. I hope that everyone gets something out of this. I hope these replays help. I hope the lessons learnt help. I hope these are shared around or pointed to, and that more people participate in the future. Now, a little bit of housekeeping at the end of this. Let us swap screens for a moment to turn my music back on, because it's awkward sitting here with no music. There we are. So, there will be another academy this week. Ladies and gentlemen, as of now, sign-ups has officially begun. Okay, so if you are a bronze, silver, or gold player, the first 6 people that sign up using the proper chat and giving me the details that I asked for in the pinned posts on my Discord will get to participate. I will make a Discord post about this shortly. You get prior notice because you're the one watching it on the stream. Do participate. If you have participated this week, try and give it to other people first though. After that, it's going to go to fortnightly because that's the prize support I can do. That's what I get from Rhino. Rhino might be able to be talked into giving me more at some point, but that's later down the track. And if the community really loves this, I will maybe do a prizeless one. And we'll do it just every week, just because of, just because because of the ability for people to learn. I want to say thank you to everybody for supporting this, for coming along to Aether again, for commentating a match for us, for all the support you guys have shown, and for taking the advice on board. It's been awesome to see this much discussion from those that were receiving it, from those that were giving it. Thank you for Laser for coming along as well. It's awesome to have these champion players in chat, because even I'm learning some things, you know. I undervalue Reconstruct. I was swiftly corrected on that. I'm hoping to up some production value, etc., etc. If you do have any thoughts, comments, ideas, criticisms about the actual Academy format, the Academy show, do let me know. This is as much a learning experience for me as it is for any of you. Thank you again. I will be back for my regular streams probably sometime next week. This weekend is very busy, so there won't be an extra stream. Apart from that, have a wonderful evening. Keep playing. Tell your friends about the game, because goddamn does it deserve to grow. I just love watching this game and analysing this game. I should have started analysing matches ages ago. Thank you very much, and good night.